And we're back.
What's up,
Hello?
man?
And we're back.
And we're back. She was going to show. Shalom Aleichem, Jacob Schwartz.
Shalom Aleichem.
Yo,
Alaikum shalom.
Jacob Schwartz is the guy who did the producing of my latest track.
Nice.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Great to have you in cheer.
Back, yeah, it's very big
Thank you, man.
schuss, and back from Araita days we used to chill. My
Yes.
first year of teaching Torah, Jacob Schwartz is there.
Awesome.
Car phone keeps disconnecting. Oy vey.
So we're in Bava Basra now. It's a new Masechta, but the Kavanah is the same. We're learning in the schus of the captives and of the soldiers trying to free the captives. We are in Adar, the fourth Adar time ZOOMSHTEIG. If I'm wearing this couple, and the 94th in a row wartime ZOOMSHTEIG. We haven't missed since the Simple Store massacre. Now, Schlig, did you get yourself Bava Basra?
I was not able to get there today because I don't know. Are we only? How long is this one parak? Because I don't know if I'm going to buy the Masechta for just one parak.
Right. It's 18 daf. We'll be doing it probably for I would say a few months.
Okay, I'll go get the. I'll get the.
I went today, and I
this week.
went today. I'll tell you what I didn't need to be today. I went today to some American farm stores, and boy was I jealous of Schlick that he gets to go to Israeli farm stores. American farm stores, you can get English books and then like not the right Hebrew books that you want. But I did find a small Gemara to be able to get Rivka, so she can follow along. But
Nice.
she's gone. No one knows where she went, and it's okay. So we did the Gemara, we did the Mishnah. I'm about to start the Gemara. Hamocher Es Hasfina. I think I might take a boat. I think I might take a boat to Jekyll Island. Do some research. If I'm in New Orleans for Shabbos, maybe maybe I'm around that part of the area. Go to Georgia, go to Jekyll Island, see where the Shiva Malchias made the Federal Reserve. Okay, maybe buy a boat, or at least give Shirin a boat. That's the goal for this man. We should be zeich. Okay, so you sold it. You sold the Sfina. You sold some of the stuff that's part of the Sfina. 4 things that get sold in them, and we don't know what the definition of these 4 things are, but there are 4 things that when you sell the boat, they automatically get sold as well. But there are some things that don't, right? The slaves that the guy that owns the boat, you don't get to buy the slave, or the box, the martzufin. Below as the antiki, like the stuff. Antiki, doesn't that sound like the word antique? But it's the schaira. Antiki Rashi told us yesterday was the schaira. So you don't get to the schaira, except if Bisman Shamar Lo, he goes with the boat and everything that's in the boat, so then he gets everything. Right? Okay, Zak the Heilige Gemara. Zak the Heilige Gemara. Toran, so what's the Toran, right? You also sell the Toran, but what's the Toran? It's an Iskaria. Iskaria. The word Iskaria was so hard that Schlig's face was replaced by a shin. That's how hard Iskaria was. Toran, Iskaria, Schlig, you know what an Iskaria is?
Bleiben.
Yeah, me too. V'cheinu Omer, and so it also says, a pasuk, our first pasuk of Zman. This is very exciting to be in a new Masechta. We've been in Avodah Zarah for over a year. And now we're doing what I think is one of the most mysterious paraks in all of Shas. And Shligs, if you buy a Bava Basra and we do a parak now, it doesn't mean that we're never going to come back to do the entire Masechta.
Right.
It just means that
I thought about that. It's a
I
good
mean
point.
that right now we're doing the 5th parak, and because sometimes I like doing a Masechta and sometimes I like doing a parak, right? So far in Yeshiva School show, just to start from the beginning. First we started with the Sugi of the Shibud. Then we did the Aruch HaShulchan Asid Hilchos Binyan Beit HaMikdash. Then we did Shvius Yerushalmi. We finished the whole Masechta of Shvius Yerushalmi. Shalom Shortzi. And then after Shvius Yerushalmi, then we did a parak. We finished the Masechta, and then we did a parak. We did the 5th parak, the 2nd parak of Chagiga, which was like a very interesting parak. And then we did Masechta Avodah Zarah, and so it was Masechta. And so now it's time to do a parak again, and like just an interesting parak, right? I'm not gonna give us the entire Masechta Avodah Zarah. It will take us years. We'll do it eventually. But Basra is a massive Masechta. It's the longest Masechta in Shas in terms of pages, not in terms of words. Shabbos is the longest in terms of words. But again, there's no Rashi in Bava Basra. There's only the Rashbam. Maybe the Rashi at the beginning of the Masechta, but like he stopped in the middle. We don't know where it went. And so we have the Rashbam. And so now it's time to do like an interesting parak from Masechta. And then after this, I'm thinking that we'll go back and do another Masechta. But we'll see, day by day, Yidden over here. So what is the Torah? What is this Torah, right? If you sell a boat, you also sell the Torah. What the Torah is in Iskaria. We don't know what it means. But we don't even need to look at Rashi at the Rashbam yet, because the Gemara itself may give us a clue. It says, V'cheinu Omer, and so too it says. This is a pasuk in Yechezkel. There's a pasuk in Yechezkel. It says, Erez milvanon lakhu lazos Torah alecha. We took an erez is like a type of tree from the Lebanon. They took to make Torah alecha. So we don't know what a Torah is, and we don't know what an Iskaria is. The Gemara says Torah is an Iskaria. It's like we don't know what an Iskaria is. It also says there's a pasuk that talks about the Torah, but we still don't know what it is. I'm going to take a look at Rashi. If in the meantime a Yid wants to look in English, Chumash or Tanakh and check out Yechezkel 27:5 and see how they translate that. But first we're going to see Rashi. Askaria, Zog Rashi, mashed. We need to get an English. We have to have in the base measures always in English Tanakh. We're always looking Tanakh. I'm sending Yidden to look on Sefaria, but that's a book that we could have, but we don't have it yet.
What's the parak in pasuk?
Shin. It's 20 Chav Zayin Hey in Yechezkel.
Thank you.
But wait, before you read it to me, I want to see two Rashis. Askaria is a meshet. Their portion of love as a vilon Hamocher Es Hasfina. I know what it is. It is a sail. Who eats hazakuv v'gavoa hatakua b'sfina. It's like a wooden thing that's in a boat. Shabo tolin hamifaresh ubo nikavim b'rosho she'achevel. It's the flagpole rather. Shemoshrim bo atzvina v'nichnas v'yotzebo. So Rashi says in Yechezkel. I don't know if it's a flagpole, the Torah, but it seems to be a pole of some kind on the boat. V'cheinu Omer, Erez Milvanon, v'chulei. There's Raya L'davar. Says Rashi, this is a Raya. That a Torah in our Mishnah is an Askaria. Because the Askaria is from Erez Ome Ilan Gavoa Ozinosa. They take a big tree to do it. Yo, what a background from Slings.
Trying
I
to get
love
the little visual.
I love it, bro. I love it. All right. So they say, I'll prove you that it's an escoria because it says that the Torah, this pole, is from a tree. And so it's like some sort of flagpole. Does anyone have that pasuk in Yechezkel that I asked for?
Yeah.
What do we got?
You want just the English? You want the Hebrew? For
English.
Hamocher Es Hasfina? Okay.
From the beginning. Broshim, right?
From
Masgir Banu. Just read the whole
Broshim, yeah.
pasuk. It's
From
the end.
cypress trees of Senir, they fashioned your planks. They took a cedar from Lebanon to make a mast for you.
A mast. Interesting. So Torah is a mast. So I am going to make a 1 next to Torah and write mast. Mast? Okay. So we got shot and tight on. That Torah is a mast. Now what's a mast, you ask? Schwartzy, you went to college. You're the only one here that went to college. What's a mast? I went to college, got kicked out. And Schlig went to college. Everyone here went to college except for me.
You mean a ship mast?
Yeah.
It's the thing that holds up the flag in the middle.
Oh, so it's like that thing on Shlomo's thing? That thing on Shlomo's video? Is that the mast? Is that the Torah?
I don't know.
Like that little wooden thing? It looks like Schlig's got a Torah. And Rashi says there's like a hole on top that you can like pull up. So I think it's not to put up the flag, but it's to put up the sails. Right? Okay. That was our first Gemara in Bava Basra. Yeah, everybody. It's so geschmack. It's so geschmack. It's like a different, like, yeah, I was gonna say it's like a different girl.
Mario Kart, for example.
Yeah.
You go to like a new
Right, it's a new level on Mario.
Beach level, like Princess Peach.
Right, it's a new level. Yeah, 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 it's good. I like it. It's good. It's better than my from comparison. Okay, so we got Tyron. So to everyone. Next says the Gemara Nace. Right? Because it says if you sell the boat, you sell the Torah, the Nace, and the Oigin and the Manigin. Osa. And so we weren't sure about any 4 of those things, but hopefully today will be upset Tishmaya. So you said the Nace, what the Nace is an Idra. Now what's an Idra?
Bleiben.
Good Blibe. You were one of the people I was getting ready to ask. I was going to ask you and the Babishter. Maybe Rivka knows what the Idra. Now I know that you guys don't know. Yeah, you guys like are not going to know like Hebrew and be able to figure out the etymology. But I think that maybe you two might have heard of the word Idra.
I've heard the word.
You
like
ever hear
there's like
Idraraba and Idrazuta?
Idrizuta, yeah.
Idrazuta we learned together at the beginning of the pandemic, Schlegs in Hazinu. It's one of the Idrazuta and Idraraba are 2 different parts of the Zohar.
That's probably where I know the
Idraraba is
word.
in Nasai and Idrazuta is in Hazinu.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Idrazuta is a Zohar and Hazinu. So what is Idra though? I think maybe it's a cloak. But a cloak? How could that be a cloak? I thought that a nace was like maybe like a flag, you know? Like Yenas Karen Mashiach being schwer. I thought it was a flag, but they're saying it's a cloak, but let's see what it actually is. So V'chenu Omer, and it says, that's what it says. This is a pasuk in Yechezkel again. Wow. Same parak of Yechezkel Shlegs. Zion. It says, Sheish Berikma Mimitzrayim Haya Mefarshecha Liyos Lecha Lenes. Okay, before we get the Schligs tight, let's the translation. Let's see the 2 Rashis on Idra. Idra, it says, Hu avilon Sheporzim ala Toran. Laholich Es Hasfina Baruch. Okay, great. It's the sale. They say Idra. I say what's Idra? A cloak. And Rashi says it's a sale. But I want to say that maybe cloak is not wrong, because we're used to what you buy a boat, you buy a sail at the boat store. But back then you're making your own boat, and it's like, oh, we don't have anything to move this boat. Hey, all the women on the boat, take off your cloaks because we need it. We need it to help us drive. And so that's why they call it a cloak. Ah, Bear Bendel over here. Oh, baby star, I need a chig. It's emergency. Shalom Aleichem, Bear Bendel. Somebody say.
Aleichem Shalom, Rabbi Yid.
Rabbi Yid, he came at such a perfect time. We're just starting a new parak in Bava Basra. We're talking about someone
You
who sells
finished
a
the
boat.
Vodazara?
We finished the Vodazara, baby. We finished yesterday.
Mazel tov, mazel tov. Gotta
Mazel
make a
tov
scene.
to the whole yeshiva. So now we're doing Hamocher Es Hasfina. This is gonna be an amazing zman, an amazing season of steiging. I handpicked this. It's not like I decided a masechta. I was like, this is the parak that I've been dreaming of learning for years, but it's such a crazy parak. There are the most famous agaritas, and the gra. I'm here to see some of the gra's parish on the agaritas here. Mamish, like face melting agaritas. Apparently, I'm excited to get into it. But right now we're just laying the groundwork of where the agaritas even come from. We have to ask, why do agaritas come from this Mishnah? But I can hear Rav Ilsen saying in my head, Pashat Hechid in the Gemara, in the Agarita part of the Gemara, in the Agarita, we talk about the Agarita. Right now we're just saying shot in the Mishnah, right? So if you sell the boat, you sell the mast, which is like the pole that you pull the sail on, and you pull the sail. Rashi says it's called a vila in Old French, and in modern Hebrew, it's called a mafresh. All right, no problem. The Reinu Omer, Vainu Idrish Asui mi pishtim, the cannabis min beged. Whoa, that's right. Cannabis, 2
No
weeks in
way.
a row, we've seen it. This
Wow.
is a Rashbam.
Two different Perushim.
Two different Masechtas, two different Mefarshim, and they just both happen. We learned them. They both happen to mention cannabis.
It's pretty unbelievable.
Really unbelievable. All I'm saying is, if we have anything rolled, I think that like if we see cannabis in a Gemara, like I don't always smoke weed during shir, but if you see cannabis in the Gemara, I think like it's chiyuv.
It's a nice.
It's a nace. The baby just said it's a nace. All right, good one. So it's made out of cannabis.
The sale was?
Yeah.
They made the sales out of hemp? That's crazy. That's a
Or
crazy raya.
different. What?
It's a crazy raya that they made the sales out of hemp.
Oh yeah, it's a great Makor. They made it or flax or hemp.
That's crazy.
You know? Yeah, you can get to Snoop Dogg's island. That was dumb. All right, but Lemaisa, if I'm gonna be on a boat, when Yeshiva's Gula Shol takes a boat to the Rakia, aka to the ice wall around the flat earth, when we take a boat, we're gonna have a lot of cannabis on board. Maybe also for the sales. Eugen, what's an Eugen? So yesterday, Eugen was the only one which we knew. Eugen is from Lashon Aguna, is an anchor. Very good, Babyster. A bank, an anchor. An anchor, Dad, not a banker. We're not talking about the Federal Reserves. We're not talking about the people who took boats to Jekyll Island to do satanic pedophilia and start more and continue their control over us. We're not talking about bankers. We're talking about anchors. Yeah. So one of the So in Yeshiva's Gula Show, we have some guys who are newer than others. So I'll just say for the new guys, first of all, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you as much as possible. And second of all, we learn Gemara, but sometimes here and there, like we're dealing with sugyas that have to do with politics, what's going on in the world. Sometimes, right? Sugyas of the Shibud. So the Federal Reserve is something that I've been thinking about lately. And also on the scientific front, we're talking about ether. Okay. Just to mention like a few sugyas that we're dealing with, like not in shir, but a few sugs. And obviously the Aguna Sugya was one of the first sugyas, one of my first songs about the Aguna Sugya, Aguna side. And so Aguna is called an Aguna because of she's like anchored down to her husband. Right? So Ogun, Dani Ravichia, Ella, Oiginin Shala, the Chaira, the anchors, right? Ogain, anchor. I wonder if the English word anchor is related to the Hebrew word ogan, because the Gimel Nun sounds like the English NK just switched around, and the ayin is an aleph. I don't know. I wonder if there's any interlinguistic calques to be pointed to, but it's just a question. It's just an interesting etymological quandary. So that's the Eigen, inshallah. V'cheinu Omer, and they prove it from Pasuk. Halahan tishberena arazer yigdalu. This Pasuk Shlegs is in Rus. 113 in Rus. Ta'igna levilti heyos leish has been osai kimar li meod. Right, it's very bitter for me. Kiyatza biyad Elohim. Rus was saying like I'm in a guna maybe. She's like, we gotta read that pasuk, but we're not ready yet.
Okay.
Yileru alahalan te'agena levilti heyos leish. So I'm like in aguna. So by the way, the first aguna, Rus was an aguna over here. Was she? Was Rus an aguna? Let's see what Rashi says. Oigne, and it says anchorish. Wow, is anyone looking inside? Baby, so you're looking inside? You see that Rashi? When Rashi says Oignin, where it says what's an Oignin, it's an Oignin. What's the Oignin, says Rashi in Old French? Anchorish. Ankerish. Ches. Kli kaved kashor lechavel. And in Hebrew, it's translated as a heavy vessel tied to a rope. Shel barzel umashlichim b'mayim. You throw it into the water. So the boat will stay in one place. Well, that's an anchor. Give Valdik. And they say, and I'll prove it to you from a pasuk. V'cheinu omer. Halon did Morena Araje Yigadel Halon Ta'agena Levilti Ayos Beach. Okay, Slick, read us that pasuk in English in Rus Aleph Yud Gimel.
Okay. Bang. Aleph Yud Gimel.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me 10 seconds, please. Feel like I'm in Final Jeopardy.
Do.
Here we go.
Yeesh, I say.
Should you wait for them to grow up? Should you, on their account, debar yourselves from marriage? Oh no, my daughters. My lot is far more bitter than yours, for the hand of the Lord has struck out against me.
Again, please.
Yes.
Halahan.
Should you
Yeah.
wait for them to grow up? Should you
Tishperena is to wait. I should grow up. Yeah.
Should you, on their account, debar yourselves from marriage?
D-bar?
Yeah. Like
Mm.
bittel. Like that's what they're teaching Levilti, I think.
Levilti, but to Agna. Let's see, Rashi. V'cheinu Omer, it says the Egon, the Masnizin. Sorry, I shouldn't have even had the pasuk read so far because we didn't see all the Rashis to read it the pasuk in English, but it's all right. It's all right.
Teagena is the word you're saying?
Yeah, to Agena. That word.
So maybe by debar, what they're saying is like anchor. Like they typed it maybe a little incorrectly. Should you on their account like
What
anchor?
website? What translation are you reading from?
I'm reading Safaria.
Sorry. Let's see, Rashi. V'cheinu Omer, it says the Egon, the Masnizin lashon ikov. The ego, the anchor, it really is lashon of like preventing from going forward. Ikov, le'akev, right? Also, lashon of Yankov, right? Ikov is Yaakov. Is it Ikov, Yaakov? Right? That's what Esav says, right? That's why they call you Yaakov, because you were ma'akev me all these times, right? So. And also he's called Yaakov because the word Akev is like the heel, right? And he grabbed on his heel. Okay, so says Raj Omer is Egon and Mrs. Lashon Ikov, right? Prevention. So when it says in the pasuk in Rus to Agena that Safaria gave us a weird translation of D-bar, and we're like, oh, I didn't realize Rus was a lawyer. You know? Safaria must have missed that. You know, I'm very tired when they read Rus because I was up a whole night. But still, I didn't think she was a lawyer. You know, I know they let girls be lawyers back then. All right. Again, Kimo Ta'asena Tit'akvu Milihina. Say what? We're gonna hold them back from getting married. That's why we call them agunas, because we're holding them back from getting married to a husband. Alma, we see. Oigen, the Masnisa is an igun. So the ogen is an anchor. Givaldic. Manhigan. Okay, this is the third thing that is also sold. If you sold the boat, you sell the manhigan, the workers on the boat. Which when I was doing the Mishnah, right, it's not just any random slave that a person might have, a servant that a person might have, but like it's specifically like, like this boat has very hard technology, and only this captain knows he's good at driving it, right? And like the Yid who wants to buy a boat, he's not a salesman, he's not a captain. So when he buys the boat, it's assumed that he's also buying the guy who knows how to use the boat, right? Buying. So what is this, like an Evan? It's like a specific Evan? Shoma Yisrael Bendel. We were learning about what they used to make sails out of. And they said either flax or cannabis.
It says in Rashi cannabis, or it says
In the
straight in the.
Rashbam. Mamish, it says cannabis in the Rashbam.
Wow, in the Rashbam.
Because there's no Rashi in Bava Basra. I know we love Rashi. Rashi is one of our favorite guys. And we're with his grandson. Okay, the Rashbam.
But there was the old French thing, isn't that a Rashi? It's classic Rashi.
Yeah, but
He
the
brings.
Rashbam also did it.
Oh, the Rashbam also did it. Okay.
Rashbam, he also spoke Old French. The Rashbam famously said about Rashi. The Rashbam says like this: if Rashi didn't write his parish on Gemara, I could have written it like I did on Bava Basra. The Rashbam was like, if Rashi didn't write his parish on Gemara, I would have written it. Says the Rashbam, if Rashi didn't write his parish on Tyra, Am Yisrael would be lost. The Rashbam says I couldn't have written Rashi's Parish on Tyra. I could write Rashi's Parish on Gemara. Rashi Parish on Tyra and Chumash. Today's share is sponsored by Holy Jigs, not this poison, Shibud soda, of course. Holy juices, Jews in Jerusalem, healthy, delicious. The only drink that Yeshiva School Show, the only sponsor that Yeshiva School Show will associate with in the drink community, right? And of course, ayahuasca, if you consider it a drink. Okay.
And Shirayim.
Oh, Shirayim. Shirayim is gonna Shirayim on the when we do Shirayim, we're gonna say like this. The filter fish is delicious with this drink in Holy Juice, this flavor, and the steak is good with this flavor, the pickle flavor of Holy Juice, and the schnitzel is good with this flavor, etc. So Shirayim and Holy Juices don't have any crossover. Shirayim and Holy Juices are like brothers, just like me and Schlicks. But we're steigen da. We're not talking business right now. We just had a word from our sponsor.
We're not talking business. We're talking business over here.
We're not talking business. We're talking beeswax.
Ein mayim el Torah.
Ein
kemach
el Torah.
Ein kemach el Torah. And kemach is like
and derech eretz is kadmol Torah. We should be zarta.
Amen.
So let's see what the manhigin are. That's the fourth thing. Manhigin. Amar Rabbi Abba elu hamashotim shalah. So I was thinking like this fancy technology in a boat, but I forgot they were talking 2,000 years ago. Who are the manhigin? They're the expert rowers. V'cheinu Omer. So it's very interesting. I love this. The Mishnah, even the Gemara doesn't know what these words are. So the Gemara is going to say, I'll tell you what the words are, and I'll prove it to you from a pasuk. And so this is our fourth V'cheinu Omer. Slaves, get ready. This is the pasuk in Yechezkel, same parak. What is going on in this parak in Yechezkel and Chav Zayin, slaves? Oh no, is that Chav Zayin or Chav Vav? It's so small. Chav Zayin, Vav. They quoted Hey, Zayin, and now Vav in Chav Zayin. Slaves, we need to know what is that parak about in Yechezkel even?
Okay.
But hold on, before we gotta see more Gemara, we gotta see what it says. I'm just getting you ready. V'cheinu Omer alonim mi Bashan asu mashotecha. It's like, yo, from the trees in Bashan, we made the mashot. We made the paddles, right? The Iba is Ema, and if you want, you can say no. There's a different pasuk actually. It says it's a pasuk in Yechezkel Chav Zayin, but Mem Tes. Whoa, this is a big pasuk. This is a big parak. Maybe tomorrow we'll say Pshat in Yechezkel Chav Zayin. Bayardu me ani Yoseim. And by the way, we in Shiva's School show probably the Masechta, the Navi that we learned most was Yechezkel, and we did Chagigs. They came down from their boats. Kol tov se mashut. Everyone who's holding on, grabbing onto a battle. Malachim, seafarers. Kol chov le'ayam. All of the people going down to the sea. El haaretz ya'amodu. They came to stand on the land. So right now, right off the bat, we're just talking about boats. And when they bring a pasuk in boat, and mashot might be a paddle. Mashoto Zagraji Shikorin Raima Mishotitim Bahem as a Hasfina. That's how they paddle. Shig, you want to read us that pasuk?
Yeah. Which pasuk is it in Chav Zayin?
Vav and then Mem Tez. We don't really need to know the pasuk, but let's do it. Vav Mem Tez.
From oak trees of Bashan they made your oars, of boxwood from the isles of Kittim. Inlaid with ivory they made your decks.
Okay, cool. The oar.
And then
Mem. Mashot is an oar.
What pasuk, Mem?
It's not the person doing the oar that we have such a complicated thing and you're selling the slave, you're selling a different, it's a specific type of slave, which is how I thought when I first saw the Mishnah. Says Rashi, no, what's the manhigim? It's not a person, it's the freaking battles you buy. You sell a boat, you buy the battles. Okay, so then it says V'chenu Omer, alone in Mibashram Azum. It says B'svina Ma'iri B'Yechezkel. So in Yechezkel, in that paragraph, talking about a boat. B'Kachashiv Tashmize Esvina B'Kelea, and they're listing the vessels of the Sfina and the vessels and the thing that you use, the aspects of it. And since and since it is mitchashev, it lists the oars. Shema Mina, we hear there that it's an ikar of tashmish of the Sfina, that it's one of the ikar things of the Sfina, benimkar and bechal Sfina, and so we know that the raya is. They're bringing the raya here. How do we know that the oars are also sold? The manhigin, what tells it where to go? Not the person who's steering it, but it steers itself, right? How do we know that it's part of the essential part of the boat? Because of that pasuk in Yechezkel. And that's maybe all of them, right? The ribu yinu, to include them. Says Kotov Sematot, this is in the first pasuk that they brought. Alma, we see from there, Ikar Asvina Ayidei Shetov Mashotot. Right? We see that the ikar of the Sfina, of the boat, is that it has paddles. The Salgadai de Chamina, you might have thought to say, Chavalin Hamocher Es Hasfina Vihavu Ikar. Manhigin, Ava Mashotos lo mizdavni kamashman. You would have thought to say that maybe the ropes that pull the boat is the ikar of what tells the boat where to go. But oars, maybe they wouldn't be sold. Kamash Malam, we see the pasuk in Yechezkel telling us that no, the Sfina, the oar is the ikar part of the boat, and it's sold with the boat. All good? Everyone chabs? We got the Gemara up until here. The Mishnah listed 4 things. We weren't sure what exactly they were. Comes the Gemara and tells us exactly what they are and proves them from a pasuk.
What
Okay?
line are we up to? I lost the place. What line are we up to?
So we just finished the line that ends with the pasuk. Everyone who's right, everyone in the boat who was carrying an oar. It's like 7 lines down from the long lines in the Gemara.
6 men.
Perfect.
Which?
But
6? Taner Rabbanan?
Taner Rabbanan is where we're going to start tomorrow. We're going to start with
Hamocher Es
Taner
Hasfina?
Rabbanan. We have 6 minutes left in share today. We're going to see the tasteless.
Okay, good.
When you do Agarita, ladies and gentlemen, there's not a lot of Tosfos in, so the pages are big. You don't have like Rashi and Tosfos along the whole side usually, because Tosfos talks about Sugya, so he's like 1 or 2 of these Agaritas maybe is relevant to a Sugya in Halacha, but he doesn't, right? So that's why the pages are big. And I think that maybe we could be Zocha to institute something that we haven't done in Yeshiva School Shul up until now, but to see, maybe we can see every Tosfos this month. I think we can do it. Okay. Hamocher Es Hasfina. There's 1 Tosfos. You sell this Sfina, that's the parak. And there's below as the Antiki, right? So we learned about the 4 things that are sold with the boat, but not the Antiki. And Rashi says that the Antiki, we saw this in Rashi yesterday. Rashi says the Antiki, Dahainu, Rashi says, Antiki, Dahainu, Pragmati Es Hasfina. All the things that are going to be sold, right? You have a boat, you're using it to sell, try to sell Jews in Jerusalem, try to sell it overseas, so you stock full the boat. Schlig sells his boat, you don't get to keep the Jews in Jerusalem that's in the freezers or in the fridge, right?
Yep.
So lo es antiki, that's what Rashi says. And now Tosfos says, lo es antiki, mishum seifa dikitani bisman sha'amar lo hi v'koma shebesocha kulan mechurin nakala. The only reason we're saying, obviously you're not telling the Jews in Jerusalem that you have the schaira that you have on the boat. Why would I even think that you were selling that? Tosfos says. Now Tosfos doesn't ask that question, but that's what Tosfos is asking, right? He Tosfos just explains. Tosfos just bevorns that question. He just answers that question without asking it. He says the reason that they even mention it here is because at the end that you say that I'm selling you the boat and everything on it, right? Aval mishum reishim in the beginning, though it's there, you don't need it. They gave in the Ajma'ina. Since we taught that the martzufin, the boxes that you're carrying your stuff in, the kol shah nisharim bisfina, that they always stay in the boat, but them themselves adma lo machar, they don't get sold when you're selling the boat. They're not included. Kol jikain says Tosfos kal v'chomer the schayra atma. Kal v'chomer, the actual stuff that you're selling, which is going to be taken off the boat when you sell it. Kal v'chomer, that is not sold. And that's Tosfos. Oh, do I have, maybe you can make
That it's
sure.
not included in the sale.
Right there. What?
That it's not included in the sale. It's separate.
It's not good. Yeah. Shalom Aleichem, Harry, for some good chazara of what we've done so far in Basra. Perfect timing. Really, 4 minutes left.
Thank you.
We saw the Mishnah in Hamocher Es Hasfina, and it says if you sell the Torin and the Nace and the Eigin and the Manigin, they're sold with the bow. And so he said Torin is the mast that holds up the sail, and Nace is the sail that helps move the boat with the air. And the Eigin, we know from the word Akuna, and it means the anchor, and the Manigin are the oars, and they brought Pasukim to prove that all these things are what they are, and to show that they're part of the Iker Sfina, and they're a lot from Yechezkel Perek of Zion. So we have to see why is that Perek like so prominent in this why is that Perek in Navi so prominently quoted in this Perek of Gemara. I will sit on that question, Mir Hashem, for the Zman, for Masech Zavodazar, Hamocher Es Hasfina. We were also talking to see Tosfos today, and Tosfos asked, "Why do you have to tell me that if you sell the boat in the Mishnah, it says if you sell the boat, you did not also sell all of the merchandise? Obviously, you don't sell the merchandise. The Mishnah says if you sell the boat, you sold the mast, you sold the anchor, you sold the oars, but you did not sell the boxes carrying the merchandise. You did not sell the merchandise. Come, those with it before, and why do you tell me that you didn't sell the merchandise if you sold the boat? Would I not know that from a Kavachomer that the boxes that the merchandise was in that stay on the boat the whole time, never leave the boat, and come back and forth, like back and forth against Tush? Says those, would I not have known that? Would I not have known that I didn't also sell the pragmatia? I didn't also sell the antiki? Says those, no, we just needed to add that because to tell you that if you say I'm selling you the boat and everything on it, so then you also sold the boxes and you also sold the merchandise. But really, I could have known from a Kavachomer. I could know from a Kavachomer that if the boxes are not sold when I sell the boat stam, so then obviously the boxes which are just there to hold the merchandise which gets moved off the boat is not going to be sold. First day of Bava Basra, and we saw Taste Fins, and we can go weiter into the Tanur Rabbanan that the Heilige Shalom Yisrael Bendel started us off on and said, is that what we're holding? Is that's what we're going to start tomorrow? But we can start today. Or actually, you know what? There's the Rabbeinu Gershom.